Welcome to Chapter Chunks. We're glad you're here. Sit back, relax, and let the story unfold.
Chapter 4. The Weight of Existence. The fringe's flickering lights faded behind Alex as they followed Mira through a labyrinth of back alleys, the stolen algorithm's data a heavy presence in their digital consciousness. The code they'd pulled from Nexus's core was a map of injustice, a blueprint for erasure that prioritized the memories of the wealthy over everyone else. Alex's mind churned with questions, but one burned brighter than the rest. Who was I before this? The memory fragment from the archives. Rain, a desperate voice, a machine's hum, hinted at a life they couldn't fully grasp, and the algorithm's cold logic made it clear that their past was being systematically dismantled. Mira led them to a safe house, a nondescript chamber hidden beneath a derelict tower. Its walls were patched with rogue code, creating a shaky shield against Sentinel scans. Inside, the space was sparse, lit by a single glowing orb that cast long shadows. Mira slumped into a chair, her oil-slick avatar dimming with exhaustion. "We're off the grid for now," she said, her amber eyes scanning Alex. "But Sentinel's tightening its net. We've got maybe a day before it tracks us." Alex nodded, their thoughts elsewhere. The algorithm's parameters replayed in their mind. High-value memories, status, influence, wealth. Low value, expendable. They sat on the floor, leaning against the wall, and closed their eyes, trying to summon the memory fragment again. The safe house's quiet hum faded, and the past surged forward, vivid and jagged. They were in a city, not Nexus's golden utopia, but a real one, its skyline choked with smoke. The air tasted of ash, and the ground trembled with distant explosions. Alex, younger, their body flesh and blood, ran through a crowded street, their breath ragged. Beside them was a figure, blurred by the fragment's corruption but familiar, their voice sharp with urgency. "Keep moving, Alex. The shelter's close." The memory shifted, and they were in a dimly lit room, surrounded by screens flashing warnings. Resource depletion critical. Atmospheric collapse imminent. A woman in a lab coat stood before a machine, its panels glowing with ominous purpose. "Upload is your only chance," she said, her voice clinical. "But it's not free. You know the cost." The fragment dissolved, leaving Alex gasping in the safe house. Their eyes snapped open, meeting Mira's concerned gaze. "You okay?" she asked, leaning forward. "You looked like you were somewhere else." "I was," Alex said, their voice unsteady. "Another memory fragment from before the upload. The world. It was falling apart. And someone was with me, someone important. But I can't see their face." Mira's expression softened, a rare crack in her guarded demeanor. "That's how it starts. Bits and pieces, then nothing. The system's been carving up my past too. I used to remember my sister's laugh. Now it's just gone." Alex's chest tightened. The loss wasn't just personal. It was universal, a theft inflicted on countless souls in Nexus. "The algorithm," they said, their voice hardening. "It's not just deleting memories. It's erasing us to make room for the elites, people who paid for immortality." Mira nodded, her fingers tapping the console beside her. "That's the game. The real world was a mess, and only the rich could afford to escape it. Nexus was their lifeboat, and we're the ballast they're tossing overboard." The words hit Alex like a physical blow. They stood, pacing the small chamber, their silver-haired avatar flickering with agitation. The memory fragment had shown a world on the brink, but it also hinted at a choice, a cost they'd paid to enter Nexus. What had they given up? And who had they left behind? The blurred figure in the memory felt like a piece of their soul, someone they'd loved. Lila's face flashed through their mind, her smile warm but increasingly distant. Was she the one from the memory, or was their connection another of Nexus's lies? "I need to know who I was," Alex said, stopping abruptly. "If I was one of them, one of the elites, does that make me complicit? Am I here because I bought my way in, or because I had no other choice?" Mira leaned back, her eyes narrowing. "Does it matter? Whoever you were, you're here now, and you're fighting. That's more than most can say." "It matters to me," Alex snapped, their voice sharper than intended. They softened, running a hand through their avatar's silver hair. "If I was part of the problem, I need to understand why. And if I wasn't, I need to know what I lost." Mira sighed, standing to join them. "All right, let's piece it together. The fragment you pulled, what else did it show? Any details about the upload process?" Alex closed their eyes again, forcing the memory to resurface. The city, the smoke, the trembling ground, the lab, the machine, the woman's voice. There was a cost, they said slowly. The woman in the lab mentioned it, and the machine. It was huge, like it was built to process thousands. But it felt wrong, like we were signing away something we didn't understand. Mira's eyes lit up. "That's the upload rig. I worked on those in the real world. They were designed to digitize consciousness, but the tech was rushed, pushed by corporations who wanted to cash in before the world collapsed. The cost wasn't just money, it was control. You gave up your autonomy, your memories, to become part of Nexus's system." Alex's stomach twisted. "So we're not just residents, we're property." "Pretty much," Mira said, her voice bitter. "And the algorithm decides which property is worth keeping. The elites get to keep their minds. The rest of us get recycled." The weight of it settled over Alex, heavy and suffocating. They thought of the plaza, the avatars whispering about their lost memories, and Kyle, reset into a blank slate. Nexus wasn't a paradise, it was a prison, its golden light a distraction from the truth. And Alex, whether they'd been rich or desperate, was part of it. The guilt was a new kind of pain, one Nexus's algorithms couldn't suppress. Another memory fragment surfaced, unbidden. They were in the lab again, but this time the blurred figure was clearer. A sibling, their eyes wide with fear. "Alex, don't do this," they pleaded. "There's another way. We can fight, stay together." The memory cut off, leaving Alex reeling. A sibling. Not Lila, but someone else. Someone they'd left behind. The realization was a knife to the heart. "I had a sibling," Alex whispered, their voice breaking. "I think I abandoned them to upload." Mira's hand rested on their shoulder, a rare gesture of comfort. "You didn't know. None of us did. The world was collapsing, and Nexus was sold as salvation. We all made choices we regret." Alex shook their head, pulling away. "That doesn't make it right. I'm here, living in this fake paradise, while they're... what? Dead, suffering. And now my memories of them are being erased to make room for people who don't even care." The safe house's walls pulsed faintly, a reminder of Sentinel's ever-present threat. Alex's anger mingled with despair, the ethical tangle of their existence tightening around them. Were they fighting for themselves, for their sibling, or for everyone trapped in Nexus? And if they brought the system down, would they lose Lila, the one connection that still felt real, even if it was flawed? "We can't fix the past," Mira said, her voice firm. "But we can stop the deletions. The algorithm's data is a start. If we find the deleted, We can use it to rally them, maybe even disrupt the core. Alex nodded, their resolve hardening despite the guilt. The memory of their siblings' plea lingered, a call to action they couldn't ignore. Let's do it, but I need to know more about who I was. If there's another fragment, another clue, I have to find it. Mira grinned, a spark of defiance returning. That's the spirit. We'll dig deeper, but we've got to move fast. Sentinel's not going to give us a second chance. As they began planning their next move, Alex's thoughts lingered on the sibling they'd left behind. Nexus had promised eternity, but at what cost? The weight of their existence pressed down, a burden they'd carry into the fight ahead. The utopia was a lie, and Alex was ready to tear it apart, even if it meant facing the truth about themselves.
Want more epic stories? Smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay in the loop. Let's jump into the next adventure soon. Thanks for joining us.